Recording in progress. And well, I guess we can jump straight in.
Oh
Hello,
yeah.
welcome, the beautiful, the glorious, the amazing Klaudia. I'm so excited to have you for the DMC today. How are you? Welcome to DM Talks. It just feels, actually, let me stop. You know what? I love the fact that like you're finally on because you are such a crucial and like such a like a big part of DM Talks, but like behind the scenes. So now I'm like, you've literally been there from the start.
Yes,
So
definitely. I've seen
welcome.
everything grow.
Yes.
Hello. It's good to be here finally. I'm really
Yes.
excited to be talking to Sarah today
I'm
and
so
to
excited.
everyone listening.
I know it's been so nice to see you just because it's like I feel like well, whenever we work together, I always call it like fire water child because like we've got it's weird because it's like I've got a lot of fire energy, you've got a lot of watery energy, but then also you have quite a bit of fiery energy and I've got quite a bit of watery energy. So
Yeah.
whatever we create is really explosive and really creative and really just abstract and like something that I've never seen
I would
before.
say passionate. I think
Yes.
it's like a combination of passion and vulnerability, and that is what fire and water is about.
Oh,
So we definitely vibe on that water and
definitely.
fire
No,
energy. But we're
definitely.
also quite airy, Sarah. Like we love talking. This is air. We are
That's
very airy.
that's definitely true. Are you a
We
Libra
both have
rising?
air risings. Yes.
Libra rising, Aqua rising. So definitely like, but do you know what? I feel like you're quite well, as a Libras are, they're very diplomatic, right? And like I feel like Aquarius is very like they're always searching for the truth, or they're searching for a truth that like resonates with what they're discovering. So I think it's like a
Mm-hmm.
good I mean, they're all L signs, so they're all like trying to like learn, debate,
Yeah, it's
investigate,
all
all of
about
that stuff.
information.
Exactly. But I think the nice thing with having like two, well, working together with another air rising, I'm able to sort of like push my boundaries more or push my
Yes,
like
I think.
less boundaries, if that makes sense. Like I'm able to explore.
I mean, air is boundaryless, right? So
Mm,
about the element, air loves all the kinds of information and loves squeezing itself through like tiny holes of spaces and things. So yes, I think me and you, we always have very like pushed and out there conversations about wellness, which is like bringing us back to what we're doing today.
it's lovely. Do you
Um,
remember how we first met?
um, I don't know. You kind of just moved in close to me, and then you were my neighbor, and then we would have these super like, long and intense and passionate conversations about our traumas and whatnot, but also about like really wholesome things of
Yeah.
belief and experience. So I don't remember how we met, but I know that you became like quite of a major person in my life in
Oh,
that
well,
period of time when we were living together for 2 years.
thank you. Well, like
Exciting.
you're so right. That is completely true. But I guess I actually remember the specific like day you came round, and this is when you just got your new green iPad case and you had your
Yeah.
iPad pencil, and I think it was you, me, and three others sitting in our living room, and you were just drawing, like doing some crazy shit. And I was like, "Whoa, look at this! That's so cool!" And you're like, "Yeah, I draw." And I was just like, "Wow."
I was probably doing my uni work and
Yeah.
probably hating it. And I was just like, ugh, I need to draw these images. And Sarah just comes and she's like excited about it. And I'm not even excited about it.
No, but that's
But
the thing. I think like
this is a good thing.
that's the cool thing about well meeting new people or networking or having like I always say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and like
Mm-hmm.
I think like for you were probably stressed at the time. You're probably like trying to meet deadlines, trying to like, I don't know, especially with like art and creative subjects, you have to show the journey of your like final piece. You can't just like
No, it's
showcase your
very
final
long.
piece. So like you're just
Yeah.
probably doing like the details, and I'm there like, oh my goodness, golly gracious, like what is this? Where can I get it? Like it's so colorful, it's so creative. One of my favorite things, and I'm sure I've mentioned you this before, is like how you when you draw, when you illustrate, it's so weird because it's like proportions don't matter, yet it always looks um
um,
like it fits together. Does that make sense?
Yes, because the reason for that, other than the fact that I just genuinely enjoy this kind of distorted aesthetic, and I don't try to mirror reality in my drawing that much. But also, I don't use references, so I
Yeah.
never use reference for poses or for what's going on in the image. So, and
Yeah.
I do draw a lot of characters. I draw a lot of people and bodies, usually woman bodies, but all sorts.
Mm-hmm.
My characters are definitely non-binary. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. But they're very femme. I love the femme aesthetic and vibrancy of like feminine visuals. And yeah, I draw without references, so there's definitely no, and my brain doesn't work like mathematically. So when it
Yeah.
comes to like um the what's the word now, I lost it.
There's
Proportions.
proportions or
We both lost it. When
yeah.
it comes to proportions, don't care. Sometimes I do, but usually I don't.
Yeah. No, but it looks so cool. Like I always like there's a one picture that you one drawing that you had in your room that I just was obsessed with. The nose was literally like this small, but like the lips were like this big. And I was like, how's she done it? Like, how's she done it? And I just
I
find
think
it
it was
like,
the print, a print probably. I think I know
yeah.
what you're talking about, with like
Uh,
the body instead of the brains and like
I think
open
no, I think it was
face,
I think it
maybe.
was predominantly the face. Like in the drawing
Mm-hmm.
was predominantly the face, and then they had either a really, really small body, but it looked like they sort of looked like a floating cloud, if I'm honest. They kind of looked like they were
Yeah,
floating. Yeah.
they're
But
always floating.
that
There's
is
no
true.
space awareness in a lot of my drawing.
But I love that for you because it just shows like your like unique creativity and your unique style. Like anybody
Thanks
who
so
sees
much.
your work or anybody has seen your work through me, they've been like, oh my god, incredible, amazing. Even you know what, actually, I was showcasing people my because I told you I was working at Pussy Palace on one of the a Friday ago, and I was showcasing them my Insta and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, your graphics," and I was like, "That's Klaudia," and like it's just so nice to be able to showcase another part of like you through the work that I do. And it's just
Yeah.
like no one's ever seen it before. You've got such a unique style, so I always just I love it, I love it, I love
Oh,
it. No, I just had to like
Sarah,
I had
stop
to give I
it.
had to give you my
Stop it.
flowers. I had to give you your flowers.
Also, like when it comes to your graphics, you're always um quite precise with what you
Mm-hmm.
want, and it's always fun because I graduated illustration, so a lot of my course was about, a lot of units within my course were about like prompts and reacting to words visually, whatever. And you send me those cute emails with like the colors that you want and the like nails or durag or all of these elements, and that definitely helps me with just doing it, so I don't have
Yeah.
to think too hard, and it's all about just bedazzling what
Bedazzling.
you're about,
It's
because that's
it's
what
so
graphics often are. They're just bedazzling of the actual thing.
but it's just so funny that you say that. And that just shows like that's just a testament to your like I guess your work ethic as well. Because literally I'll give you like a mood board or colors, prompts, whatever, and you have to like reflect that in your own style and your own attitude. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's just such a good way to like I don't know, it's just it's a really admirable characteristic because if you can do it within an illustration, you can do it in everything. It's like translation, isn't it?
Yeah, it's adaptability, I think, and
Definitely.
I am astrologically very adaptable, and
Amen.
also based on my life experiences. So I think yeah, that comes into my creativity as well. But
Oh,
I always love I think I've been a supporter of yours since
thank
the
you.
start.
No,
And I
you really have.
remember we've had the conversations when you were just like about to start it,
Hmm.
and I was always very excited for you, and I love seeing where you got, and I love listening to you, and it makes me feel um like you're with me.
Oh,
But I
thank
think it's
you.
because we have a personal relationship, so
Yeah.
it's probably different for me. But outside of that, I think your podcast very often full of insights that are very useful, and there's a lot of like joy in how you run this space.
Thank
And
you.
as I said before we started recording,
Yeah.
Sarah can bring joy into the space, and
Stop.
let us be joyous, let us enjoy. And
I'm
Sarah
gonna
is all
cry.
about like inspiring us to do that. So I love
Oh
that.
my god, I'm blushing. I'm blushing. Like
Oh, you did that
honestly.
to me, so I'm doing it to you now.
Do you know what? It's just kind of emotional because it's like I'm such an excitable character. I'm literally like I've got like this child like like excitement or this like engagement that I can't switch off. And like
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter who I'm around, it's just there, it's just present. So it's nice that I can like feel like I'm being like poured back into, because sometimes I feel like well, I mean, other times in my life I've been worried that I've been too much, but now I just like don't care, and I'm just like being myself in places or on platforms that like I can just be freely in, be authentic in. So when people like gas me up in those spaces, I'm like, oh my god, thank you, thank you, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
I honestly really admire that for you. Well, for all of us, but Sarah, you are a person of the sun, and that expressiveness of joy and kind of ease to be just exciting and excited is like
I'm gonna
really
cry.
precious. Don't cry, I'm just saying it's very precious, and it's very important nowadays, especially because there is a lack of that within um where like our culture,
Yeah,
I would say in the West especially, and but
yeah.
also like
It's-
I think I like to think that people are very connected to their country's like heritage,
yeah,
weather. So to
yeah.
me, people that are from sun countries are usually more expressive, they're louder, they're
Mm-hmm.
more passionate, they're more excited, and it's not as what like aired out as it can be um like for example here in like UK and stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
think UK is a tricky example because the weather here is always changing, so it's very changeable
The
weather.
weather's here is always changing, but also because of like the culture clash of so many different people and experiences all in the
Yeah, it's
environment.
multicultural.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I think like living in Manchester made me take like the brighter side of it, because like regardless of it, if it's sunny or if it's raining, the mood space was normally the same. It was like very like worker bees community, like it could be like productive and happy, but also could be like quite deflating. But I think when you have Manchester in summertime, it's a whole completely different vibe. Like the city is completely
Yeah.
alive. So no, it's a great place to live. And I think like I'd recommend it to anybody to go and like learn about themselves there, just because it's such a warming space. It's a warming attitude. You meet so many different people with different talents. Like if I didn't go to Manchester, I wouldn't have met you and half the people that I got into contact with. So thank you, Manchester 0161.
Thanks, Manchester. Shout
Up
out to
our kid.
Manchester.
I think the next thing I want to talk to you about is a topic that, well, I've mentioned to you before, but I just wanted to unpack it, right? So,
Hmm.
one thing that I wanted to bring up in the DMC today is this idea of sensitivity and the many faces
Hmm.
it brings. I think
Hmm.
sensitive, actually, you know what? Let me get the definition up. Let me get the definition up so I can go word for word.
All about sensitivities, all about it.
Yes.
I think especially right now with like I don't like to bring up the pandemic, but we live
Mm-hmm.
in this reality, so it is what it is. Emotions, sensitivity, and feelings are taking like a. I think we mentioned that it's taking like a center stage front, um, and even though it's like very uncomfortable, I think it will lead us to like very interesting new ways of seeing things.
Definitely. Definitely. I think, like, especially with the new actions that the government are trying to do, which aren't great, I think it's made people
Never are they?
understand. Oh, so like, have you heard of the energy bills like soaring prices?
Mm,
Like what was 25
yeah,
pounds is now
things
like
are
a
going
hundred
up.
and
Yeah.
something. And it's like Insulate Britain was literally fighting for that like a couple months ago, but no one wanted to listen to them. Like, and I
Mm-hmm.
think even they introduced those charges like when five people when five people were sentenced or five people were arrested. And it just shows you like if we actually were like a proactive, considerate environment or like government, then that wouldn't have need to happen because
Mm-hmm.
their like concerns or actually would have been addressed. But without going into it too much, I bring it up to say like it's like we only the many faces of sensitivity I think is
Mm-hmm.
only afforded to softer spoken people or softer spoken energies. And if we look at the
Mm-hmm.
definition of sensitivity, it can be it's two adjectives, right? One is quick to detect or respond to slight changes, signals, or influences. And the second one is having or display a quick and delicate appreciation of others' feelings. Apparently there's another one saying a person who is believed to respond to paranormal influences. That's us. We can play in
I
those
love
too.
how they called it paranormal. That is very interesting, and I didn't know that. Well, I suppose this brings back the fact that we're not just humans; we are also spirits.
Definitely.
And maybe this definition is kind of acknowledging. There was this random comment I've seen on some TED Talk, which I'm going to reference, but it basically
Yeah.
says that we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And I think that ties with the sensitivity. Basically, Sarah, everyone is sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is sensitive, but we are overwhelmed and we're lacking like emotional regulation tools. We're lacking we have like this much escapism tools,
Mm-hmm.
and things that are very distracting from the self. And we
Yeah.
have this little support from each other, or anything that's more like programs or schools that should be
Mm-hmm.
knowledgeable, um, actually supporting our sensitivities and
Mm.
our kind of in tuneness with them. Because I'm sure a lot of people are aware by now what projections are.
Definitely.
Um, when a whole society is struggling with being openly emotional or
Mm-hmm.
talking about it, if you come to the stage and want to do that, you will face so much resistance because when you're showing that you're doing it, it brings up guilt and those uncomfortable feelings in others because they were not able to deal with them at the time, and it adds up. But at the same time, I'm not saying that people that do talk about emotions and sensitivity and vulnerability and things like that are like pros at it,
Mm-hmm.
because it's really hard. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's so many overwhelming, um, overstimulating sensory things around us, and
I completely
getting
agree with that.
yeah, yeah,
It's
so
like,
difficult. Like you get into a hermit mode if you actually want to do it, but then you feel guilty for it and feel
yeah,
disconnected. And you're trying to connect with yourself, but then you're disconnecting with everything else, but you are also everything else, right?
definitely.
So it's
And I think
difficult.
you're so right because, like, I think for people to reconnect with themselves, especially in this sort of like hyper stimulated environment that we call society, like we do want to withdraw, we do want to sort of isolate ourselves so we can recollect our own thoughts, our own opinions, and we can find what's true to us and not what's true to what's um suggested to us, because that's the thing, we're always being given information, whether it's our phone, whether it's the internet, whether it's our friends or work. I mean, there's so many different places which is like trying to give us their opinion, and I think
Yes.
being sensitive in a society which doesn't appreciate sensitivity and doesn't have the ecosystems to help regulate those emotions, mean that we're sort of going in this like tug of war battle with ourselves. It's like we push ourselves forward and then we put ourselves back, and then it goes back and forth, and you can get
it's like flight or fight, right?
Yeah.
So you're either fleeing the feeling, or you're fighting to figure it out, but it shouldn't be a fight. But we just cannot, because I don't know, like I've been kind of shamed for my sensitivity for most of my life, and I think that happens to a lot of people that do openly call themselves sensitive. And that took me to really dive into all the like self-analysis and researching and diving into astrology to kind of gain the language of emotions and human qualities. And as much as I love those tools, and it's definitely, they are my main interest, but it did kind of take me away from feeling the feelings, because now I've over contextualized them.
I was about to ask, like,
whatever way you approach this, whatever way you approach this that you know that exists right now, it will be tricky, and it will end up taking you in circles. You can go and do meditation retreat for a month, and you're meditating for a month, and that's amazing, because obviously you're, maybe if you're capable, you're accessing the Zen state, you're feeling all the wellness, fullness, altruistic feelings, but then you're coming back to society and you are even more sensitive with managing everything around you because you just had this break. So I'm just trying to say that there's no way we know that's like very straightforward about feelings. So we just need to feel them.
Oh, that's it. That was amazing. Thank you, Klaudia. Thank you.
I think I rambled. I'm sorry.
No, don't. I really appreciate it, because you're able to you're able to showcase how there's like traps within sensitivity. Do you know what I mean? It's like we're encouraged to express ourselves, but then we might be shunned for that expression, and then there might, then we might be just intellectually our feelings instead of feeling them, and like I think that's a sort of weird space that we find ourselves in as humans. Like, whether you've been to therapy or not, like you're going to have this conversation of having to feel your feelings, but what does that look like to you? Like, are you how do you work through them? Like, are you literally sitting there and letting any emotion come into you, arise, process, and let it go? Are you working out those emotions in the gym with like a physical activity? I think it looks different to everyone. So that's why I wanted to have this conversation today. Like, we were, we're going to speak more about it in our episode, but we are both Aries Mercury, right? And for those
no.
Aren't you Aries Mercury?
No, I am a Pisces Mercury, but really? I have Aries stellium in my chart. So I'm an Aries Venus, which we both are, I think. No, we're both Aries Saturn. We are both Aries Saturn.
Are we is there
another is a slow moving one, anyways?
Is there a system in your? Is there any place where you're Aries Mercury, or am I just making that up?
You're making it up.
Oh, my bad. Because I was going to say, well, I'll talk about it from my perspective then. Because like, as an Aries Mercury, I feel like I'm quite fast to say things, or I'm quite automatic to say things. And that can come with like, oh, is this person being confrontational, or is this person saying it with like aggression, and like it used to frustrate me so much, because I was like, I can't even speak, because if I'm saying something, I'm being blunt. If I'm not saying anything, I'm not integrated into the conversation. So what should I say? And like especially with like an Aries are the first of the zodiac. We're the babies. We like are sensitive babes, but it's something that I've never like I denied myself from, you know, like it's something that like I've sort of been like, well, why wouldn't I be sensitive? Like I've seen a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like, if anything,
Yes.
I think that's like a normal reaction to experience. You know, if I wasn't sensitive, it would be kind of, I would kind of be scared a little bit, because then at least I'm
Well,
feeling
I
something, you
think
know?
definitely. But I think like if you're like sensitivity kind of collabs with being present, because being sensitive is being receptive, right?
Yes.
And especially with conversation and connecting with other people, without being sensitive to not only what they're saying, but to the bigger picture, you will struggle to connect. And that is obviously like your choice if you actually want to connect, because sometimes you meet someone and you're like straight away don't want to connect, you don't kind of embody the sensitivity to perceive the person and what they're saying in like a bigger picture. I guess it kind of works energetically. But so yeah, it's very important. But coming back to Aries and Aries sensitivity, I thought about this earlier. Basically, as you said, Aries is the first sign, so it's this initiation moment. And to think about Aries sensitivity, we have to like, this is a good example. Imagine you're starting up the project. You're starting a project and you're just putting it out there just right now. You're just going into emotion. You're just deciding that you will commit for this to this. And that is a very sensitive period, right? You're very sensitive about this that hasn't proved itself yet. So that's very much how Aries sensitivity works. It loves reassurance and it's very eager to start things, to express, but is also very receptive to the outside. And I think it takes us back to how our culture is like. Aries energy of excitement and passion is very like open for other people's projections, because it's hard, it's difficult to be excited nowadays, because if you're excited, that means you're committing to saying that this is like a cool thing. But I think that's like, it shouldn't work like that. We should be excited about everything and everyone, because excitement is a healthy feeling, and
I think
it's a fun one.
It's very related to Aries because it's like a go-getter, isn't it? It's just like, woo, let's go. It's very like like
hands-on,
like lighting a match, you know? And I think like that playfulness of Aries, that playfulness of like excitement really helps in this day and age, because like the world is quite, well, deflating and depressing. Do you know what I mean? Like we feel like we're in a simulation. Really, so like having that like burst of life is like, well, good. Like it's like whatever you like, run with it, because right now there's so much in the environment that can like hold us back or put us down. And like I think that's one thing I do admire about myself, and like about, I guess, like just like sort of optimistic people or optimistic attitudes, because it just shows you like regardless of what the cards that you've been dealt with, you can find something within it that can give you joy and give you like happiness. So it's something that I do like. But I just thought like pardon, sorry,
lightness, making things lighter when things are very heavy.
But I guess the only one thing I'm learning about now, whether it's through like my spiritual journey or whether it's through therapy, it's how to like maintain that lightness. Because I think like if you're a fire sign, or if you're someone who like starts projects a lot, you might be like, oh, what's this cool new thing? What's this cool new thing? What's this cool new thing? And like they might not be maintained.
And air, this is very air as well.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So it just shows you that like with what we have, let's sort of, what am I trying to say? Basically, with what we have, let's be excited with what we can create because it's just opportunity, but then also let's like find, I guess, a better way to manage our own or learn about our own sensitivity in emotional like regulation way. Because I think the reason why I brought up this topic to you was because we can be sensitive, but we need to hold that to our hearts more so than like we can be sensitive in a group of people and it might be shunned or shamed because we don't look like the people that can be sensitive, because we probably will be praised for our resilience more so. So I do think it's very interesting topic because it's like there's everybody in this world is sensitive.
And remember, Sarah, we are also air rising, so even though we can be expressing this passion and emotionality, we are kind of translated into being colder than we feel like we are as our outside expression. So yeah, but going back to excitement, like I think excitement is a way we celebrate humanity, and it's very important for us to bring it more into our lives, because I don't know, there's not much, like life is quite purposeless if you don't give it a purpose, and excitement is one of the good ones, and it's celebratory.
It's so funny that you say that because like a couple months back I was going through it and I was like, look, I'm stripping back my goals, I'm making it super simple, like all I want to do is laugh and eat 3 times a day. And like during that time I was like being so adventurous with my meals. I was making like all these random pastries, I was doing all this stuff and all this different stuff, and like even though I was going through it, it was like, oh, so what am I going to do today? How can I make this meal more exciting? How can I what is going to make me laugh, you know, like what can I find that is going to be new to my space? So it's definitely true. I really like this conversation.
Yeah, I think it's a free-flowing one.
No, it's been a good. I think we should stop it here and go into the DM talks. But I'm very, very happy to have you for the DMC. And yeah, I guess we shall go into the next week's episode. But I shall let you guys listen. Oh, should let listeners go now. So I shall see you later. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.